Like, that name
All right.
looked fishy.
That was the mistake I made, and that's like, unless you pre-register,
Right,
and I know you wanna come in,
correct.
Well, that's definitely Mary.
that's Mary for sure.
Oh, we got bombed again.
Kristen Locke is, of course, that was recorded, we won't be publishing that to you.
No, we will not.
Okay, so what we're using,
And then, yeah, I am recording. Do you wanna just, cause we're gonna start from here,
we're gonna just
Yes.
keep going.
just state what we're doing, what meeting is the next thing.
So we don't have to.
This is the elderly tax freeze program discussion.
No, I mean, it's a board select meeting, we're starting, just think,
It's the board of selectmen meeting Tuesday, May 5th, started at 7, but it's 7:05.
Right.
Okay,
okay, good.
so the guidelines, I'm kind of looking at the guidelines, and it says that if a house of two of $56,500 will qualify for a freeze, that is a couple, and 46,300 for a single. And they would have to be over the age of 70. They would have to have lived in the town. I don't even know if that was criteria. We'll look at it. This is the discussion here. But right now, if we did these numbers, 56,000 for a couple, there's about 34 families that would qualify. And the tax burden that we would lift from them and move to others is only $24,000 a year. Okay? Last year with the new veterans, 100% P&T, we have 18 people on that. And that's to well over $100,000 that taxpayers pay to meet the mill rate that you have to have. Yes, sir.
John Pyers, 324 Route 87. I'm one of those 18 people. Can I get out of that? So I'm not. Or can I?
You can, but John, this is, you've qualified for that country.
I know,
Okay.
I know what I've done.
You can go down to the assessor and say, you know what, I wanna take myself off of the 100% P&T. You can do whatever you wanna do. Okay, so, yes. So, I'm just saying, we are helping people. And I think some of the elderly in this time, in this town, and, you know, with 69% of the budget being the education. Kind of paid their dues on education, they probably paid it with their kids, grandkids, and some of them even great grandkids. So I think we can look at, but this is the kind of the guidelines, we're going to narrow it down and I'll bring it to a meeting and. You know, what do you think of those guidelines? 70 years of age, making 56,500.
Is it 70 or 75?
I think so, 75, but you're proposing 70.
I worked the numbers downstairs of 70. I know that.
I would tend to agree with that, more so than 75.
And this 75, this was a AI generated document that has a lot of holes in it. So I started looking at other towns like Middletown and Collins and I'm gonna work with our town attorney and move forward with.
And we don't have senior housing, so I think this is a good choice to offer people around fixed income.
Yeah, my only concern was the amount of burden, but now that you kind of translated that into, it's only a handful of people. So
24,000.
I'm just thinking we have families that are also struggling, and then with all the mandates from the state having.
We're not supposed to take questions, but I will take your question.
Just wondering, Tracy, 3 Pine Ridge Road, is it going to be, if it's a couple, both people have to be 70
These are good questions.
in the
Good question.
household, or one?
Good question.
Well, I think we would take a look at their income.
Okay, what type of documentation, just I mean,
Their
you know,
tax
tax
returns.
records?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't care to know what their investments are, that's not what I'm asking, you know,
Income, not assets.
they're. But there are some things, they can't own two homes.
It's not even.
Yeah, that is a legitimate one, yeah.
I won't do that again.
You don't sit. One thing I was, one of the things it says is, depending on how long they've lived here, I don't know how important that is.
The names are changing very.
Yeah, I understand, please,
Or,
I understand, and you know. Because a lot of people who lived here for many years are house rich and money poor. You know, they have family homes that have been passed down, and now we've taxed those homes, property that. You know, maybe they were farmers and they didn't invest a heck of a lot of money and they got by and they made, you know, but now they're old, they're 80 years old and they're not farming. And they have very little social security. I know my neighbor down the street, I asked him, what's your income? Well, I get about $12.50 for social security, and my wife gets you know, less, a little less.
yeah, I think the more important is this, how much income they got coming in.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think the ones that new elderly people who move into town probably aren't gonna make these income requirements. Just on the ballpark.
First of all, if they're moving into town, they're either moving into family with children who will take them in. Cause they're not really buying a lot of big houses or property, they're moving into at their age. So they probably,
Wasn't one of the criteria also that you had to own your property over a certain amount of time too? It's not, you can't just move in.
That's what I was questioning.
Yeah,
right, but that's what I said, I haven't looked at that criteria, I thought.
Well, maybe I'm just saying-
15 years, or, you know, we'll have to discuss.
We got two tiers in this particular example. One's if you lived here 10 to 19 years, and I guess that you get a certain amount of cap, or if it's 20 or more, it gets, I don't know.
I don't
That's
wanna
something I'm not sure what I would like, but I'm not
I
sure.
want to have a step program for this freeze. We're gonna set the criteria, you meet it, you're froze.
I do think we need a residency requirement for the amount of time, so you don't have people that are coming in just because we have the tax break too. Like an ownership clause, like how long you've owned in town.
Yeah, I think if you're saying 1 year, if you've been here for, let's say, 15 years, you qualify, or 20 years, you qualify. I don't know if we need to have two different tiers. These guys get 2%, these get 4%, I don't know, I'm just looking at the thing on paper.
Yeah, people are moving, I mean, unless you're moving in with family, then it doesn't matter, because they don't pay taxes, but if they're buying a house, they got some money to buy a house.
That's,
So, you know,
well, unless you're selling another property and your house rich, right? So you'd be selling the property, coming here, but you don't have an income that's over a certain,
yeah,
so. I don't know, I know that most of the times when I saw this email.
Yeah, but if you're selling a property and you're moving.
Yep.
You still have residency in Columbia.
Not if you're selling a property in Wyndham and
Outside.
buying a house in Columbia, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my concern is that burden then falls on families that are also struggling with the increase in taxes, and you have people moving in, so. I just,
Explain that to me, what?
because, so you have the burden of what's not being paid by that population that's now going to be falling on families that might also be struggling. So I just don't, I understand, I agree with having a program, I just think that there needs to be very clear parameters on how long you've been,
Yeah.
like a residency requirement for a certain amount of time.
I guess we can see what other towns are doing.
And that's what I was saying, so that's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say, is that when I had researched the towns around us, because Wyndham has this, there's quite a few towns around us that have it, but they have a 10 or 15 year residency clause to it, that you have to have owned your home for 10 or 15 years in and out.
I guess my point was just have one, whatever it is, 10 years, 15 years. But just this example, I have two tiers and just complicated, depending on how long you've been here, it makes it more complicated.
Alright, so I would ask you to think about this, think
There's
about it.
I think we're all thinking it's good.
I don't know.
It's just how to kind of implement it.
Yeah, so think about the different
Oh, I
points that you have to meet and stuff, it doesn't have to be this.
I'll interview other towns, so I'll see what works for them and.
Yeah, what problems they're having. Yeah.
Right, because Holland's having a problem, there's a 20-year-old freeze program that was way too complicated because it relied on total household income. So if you had 5 people in the household, we had to submit 5 tax returns and calculate total income, and they said it was way too intensive. So I just read that and
And to be honest with you, if somebody's in their house alone and they're elderly, 80, 85, whatever, and family moves in, that's a good thing. If they're not being taken advantage of or, you know. So. Okay, so think about it, come up again.
Good
We're gonna
idea.
find out,
Yeah, just get a little
but the
bit.
good news is it can be done.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, correction to the start date. I move to correct the start date of the new town clerk, Karen Butsky, from May 1st, 2026 to July 1st, 2026. Robin is still our clerk until she leaves here, our clerk. And she's not leaving until June 30th.
Okay.
So, probably. And we have hired who can say that?
yes,
We hired a
assistant town.
assistant town clerk, we started today, for fun. So. All right, so all those in favor of moving the date?
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. Lord. Right, new business.
Lauren.
Annual budget meeting, the move, so we're okay with this?
Yes,
Okay. I move to establish the fiscal year 2026-2027 annual town budget meeting for Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 at 7 P.M. at Horace Porter School Gymnasium, 3 Schoolhouse Road, Columbia, Connecticut, for the following purpose. Clause 1, to take action on the proposed annual town budget for fiscal year 26-27. Copies of the proposed budget are available online at www.columbiact.gov as well as in the town clerk's office. Okay. If we're going to referendum, this is just going to be a meeting for informational type of meeting, correct?
right. So we have to establish a town meeting because there's a legal notice saying there's a town meeting.
Yeah.
The next legal notice you're going to authorize is the revised legal notice because now a petition has been accepted. So first, let's just establish the original town meeting legally.
Perfect. Motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay, now.
the revised.
Revised legal notice of the annual town budget meeting. The duly qualified electors and voters of the town of Columbia, Connecticut, and any other persons entitled to vote upon any of the matters contained in this warning are hereby notified to meet at the Horace W. Porter School Gymnasium, 3 Schoolhouse Road, Columbia, Connecticut, on Tuesday, May 12th, 2022, 7 P.M. for the following purpose. Clause 1, to discuss the proposed annual town budget for the fiscal year 26-27. Copies of the proposed budget are available on www.columbiact.gov as well as in the town clerk's office. As a result of a valid petition circulated and submitted prior to the above referenced town meeting, the vote on the approval or rejection of the annual town budget for fiscal year 2026 and 2027 shall be adjourned to a referendum to be held on Thursday, May 21st, 26 at Yeoman's Hall, 323 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee ballots will be available from the town clerk's office during normal business hours and will become available on Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. Pause.
What was the
They
date on
need to be submitted before the 21st, right? Up to the
Yes.
21st?
Well, it's no reason, 21st, you just go forward and on.
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
have,
like-
you have to get the absentee ballots in there, so they can, usually it's by the end of the, they have to be received by the end of the day at 8 o'clock.
Right,
But they-
before.
That's fine. The budgets are available online at www.columbiact.gov as well as in the town clerk's office. So we'll take absentee ballots up until.
Yeah, but they can only be in person, we don't have time to mail them out.
Right.
They have to come to the town clerk's office to get them,
But you can't give it to somebody 13.
she'll make it.
Everybody got this, any discussion on this? Alright. All those in favor?
So now we're sending around 2 legal notices, one will supersede the other one, but. What our town attorney want?
Six dot three, request for memorial bench for Jeff Bowes at Rec Park. I move to approve the request for memorial bench for Jeff Bowes at Rec Park. Who wants this?
There's a letter from this one,
Okay, good.
down
Yeah. I remember Jeff, Jeff was involved with the town, good man,
No,
a good family man. So, lost way too soon.
very good idea.
Yeah.
Although, any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye, opposed? I move to approve. So there's a motion to approve the transfer. And then the second, you'll make to set a town meeting for that?
yes, so. The town meeting will be the deciding transfer.
I'll make a motion to approve a transfer from contingency account 10-4800-900 totaling $24,750 to the capital account dam hazard mitigation for engineering consulting and bid specifications for the town of Columbia Dam spillway repairs. So the motion, all those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, I move to set a town meeting on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. At 6:45 P.M. at the Adela G Urban Conference Room to appropriate and transfer from contingency account 10-4800-900 totaling $24,750 to the capital account 20-6403-026 dam hazard mitigation for engineering consulting and bid specifications for the town of Columbia Dam spillway repairs. So then we'll discuss about all this. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Just before our next board, so.
Will be here. California, so. I think I'll get back in time for the meeting. Before you first.
This is.
Right. 6.5. Add to the agenda, discussion about the non-transfer statement. Non-transfer station activities that would be requested for approval of the Board of Selectmen. I'll talk to this a little bit, of course. Everybody who called me names and whatever is not on here, but they never attend the meeting, so they don't really know. And they just. I got a call Friday, 11:28. Give or take. I'm on my way out the door, I'm going to visit family, whatever. Mark says, I'm here with the registrar of voters and the assistant town clerk. And there's a group that wants to get petition signatures at the transfer station. And I thought, all right, let me think about this a little bit. And I said, what's the pros and the cons of it? And the pros, you know, we do allow Lions Club to sell tickets, and we do have people out there to say, hey, vote for me, thank you. And but we've also had allowed somebody to sell shirts or something, and it became very hostile. One group against another, and it was pretty hostile. So much so that the workers down there were concerned and thought about calling a trooper. Okay. The referendum for the petition was, I thought it could get where people would ask questions of the people there, what's it about, what's the this, what's that? And people would, it's a way to get, I want the, the school, it's for the children, I mean, we're dying over, we're starving over here, and just got to be a little bit too many people. It could have gotten too out of hand, too, and I was concerned that, for one, congestion would have been bottled up down there. It's a pretty busy day on a Saturday. People backing in the spots some of them don't look over their shoulder well, and I mean, I almost hit somebody down there. And all I needed was somebody's foot to slip off the brake and hit the gas and kill 5 people down there, just back up right into them. So I said, they can have somebody up there and say, learn all about the petition, sign the petition or not, you just have to drive out, go down the road 100 yards, pull into the parking lot of the DPW, stay in the car, ask your questions, sign it, don't sign it. Let's stay away from the transfer station. And the general consensus was, okay, we understand. I got the nastiest comments. The nastiest comments, okay? I'm not a D-bag. I'm not a jackass, not a liar. And these are all things that came at me. Some of them were on Facebook, and my wife said, do you see this? No, I don't. She was very upset. And my daughter, who we were visiting in Pennsylvania, was very upset. And I'll share a few of these because I'd like to ask the people who wrote them to stand up and really express what they feel and why they wrote it. But that's me. So I only do what I feel I can, what's best for the town. I had a reason. I couldn't tell everybody, 5,000 people, why I did it. But I did, and I'd do it again that way. But now the thing is, if I allow somebody to do something there, it's just gonna start up again. So I'm not making any decisions about that. Everything can come before the board. I don't, you can be,
It's taxpayer funded, that location is taxpayer funded, can you really restrict people from?
Yes,
Having a little bit of history with this,
Yeah, it's publicly funded. town
I've
property.
been kind of waving signs at the dump, I don't know, 25 years. And I can remember there was a time that the people at the dump felt like they were losing control if you kind of were in front of the dumpster, so they asked us, but
Be in a
everybody.
specific location,
To
yeah, yeah.
stand at the grassy area.
that's another thing we can do, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm just thinking, I don't mind restricting for safety's sake,
Yeah.
location at the dump, but restricting people
Because it can
from
get,
accessing that location, I feel like. If it gets out of hand, which obviously even during campaign season, we all know it can get out of
get
hand.
out of hand.
But at that point, that's where you have law enforcement, that's where you have I'm gonna say to the guys that work down there, when things are getting crazy. That's when you can't restrict someone's access to free speech and petition.
Right, exactly.
There's other ways to handle the issue. I'm not disagreeing with your rationale, by the way, at all. I understand why you had the safety concern there, because I've seen some of the things
Yeah,
that play out, but I think the freedom of speech and petition supersede that when it's on a property that is taxpayer funded.
I mean, my opinion at the time was we left it.
Let them take me to court. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, but you're not unilaterally making the decision.
No, that's why it's
Yeah,
not-
that's what I'm saying, so that's.
So that's fine. So here's the other thing. There's a couple of things, and we talked about. First of all, they need to give 2 weeks notice. If people want to be down there, that's fine. Right? This is some things I've thought about. Then the board can say, yes, yeah, fine, and the blessing of everybody. Share, I want to share in the abuse that I receive. Okay, that's number one. We could give them a specific location. Or, but you have to look at, there's not a lot of room back over there with, if you have 10 cars throwing trash out and 5 waiting. And they're crossing like this over there, where are you gonna put them, over near the swap shop?
I mean, you have a lot of people that show up around campaigning season, I have to imagine, versus the number of people for this, you probably have a lot more people that are campaigning.
Yeah.
But I think that we had locations that were safe locations that weren't blocking for the campaigning. I have no problem with saying like, okay, but you're restricted to these areas for safety's sake, for liability's sake. We don't want someone getting hurt or running for hurt. But I just don't agree with restricting their access to a publicly funded location.
No, I mean, I used to be in the grassy area the whole time. And, you know, because the people that, I mean, I think there were times they were thinking they had to call the police, but then they're kind of making that judgment. And I don't think that's their training either, to be able to have to make that judgment.
And the other thing is, like the people on the corner, God bless them, whatever. Alright, I have asked them to move back off the road for safety concerns. And they go, okay. And they go right back when I go away. Somebody's gonna jump that curb, or somebody's gonna tumble into the road, cause they're right near the road. It's,
I don't know what the legality is as far as the buffer from the road, like if the state has a certain setback on there, so that might be something we have to find out at the state level on that, but again, restricting the free speech on public property is tough to do.
not restricting it, ask them to be safe.
No, I'm saying, but that's the perception of it, that's what I'm saying, I don't know what the setback is for that, but I'm just thinking the public property,
But I don't think I'm out of line asking for a 2-week notice if somebody wants to be down there. Okay, they have a right. You have a right to,
what does the 2-week notice give us though? What is the advantage of a 2-week notice?
gives us the ability to maybe call the troop and just say, if you can swing somebody by once in a while, or we put another person on down there to help with traffic flow. I don't know.
Well, you know, look at plus if they come before us, you can also, okay, you're good, this is your approval, you can like have a little sketch. Or show you, this is the area, this is the rules, if you do this, great, you're all set. So at least everybody's aware, because right now, I guess someone would just go down there and put up a petition, right? And I don't know, what do they do now? What in this case, is someone asked before they did this?
Yeah, they asked me at 11:20 on Friday, and the town hall closes at 12.
Yeah, so if you had a formal procedure,
So it kind of explains things
Some
better.
of the time sensitive thing anyway, but the decision I think to do that was time sensitive. So that's why I have the concern about the 2-week piece too, because you're still limiting somebody's access to public property.
well, they're before one of our meetings.
Me too.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's
I think
restricting
you can
someone.
assume that during the election season, every Saturday, there's gonna be somebody there. I mean, you know, they're there at 8 o'clock, usually it's just mornings, 8 to 12.
Or anytime something controversial comes up, that's where people access each other in town.
That's because we don't have any other place. I mean, I'm thinking the grassy area is a better spot, except that you can't chat with people there as much. People stop to talk to you, but that's about it.
There are a couple little areas, like with the politicking that
They
happens.
stop there and the flow gets down into Route 6.
Yeah. Well, they usually stop going out. They don't stop coming in. At least that's what I observed, right? For the most part.
Maybe we need to actually I don't know who, go down there, just look at the place and scope out what would be the best thing, or maybe the people to dump, or
Or
what to
the
dump.
people that, know what the
Or would
state-
there be a place that's the least obtrusive to all that's going on?
So you think and not make the decision and just kind of observe it and come up with something that's more realistic.
I also don't think this is something that happens on a regular basis either.
I know somebody that wants to be there on Saturday, and I was thinking of telling her to go to the grassy area. I don't think that it's somebody who wants to run for probate and wants to kind of come to Columbia to make himself known. So I was gonna suggest, to her to hang out at the grassy area.
So Chief, this is a safety issue, so if you wanna weigh in, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, so, born and raised in this town, I know I've seen that dump from back when you used to dump in the beginning to where now we're dumping in containers. We have sheds up there now that we never used to have before. We have, swap shop area we never used to have before. These are things we've evolved. And when I used to be a kid and going out there, politicians, anyone would be in front of the shed or what it used to be. It's changed.
Yeah.
That can be a safety concern when traffic is backing up on to six, or people trying to leave and they roll their window down and like having a conversation, and Dave behind really wants to get out of the dump and blows out and around. My thought when I look at this is if anyone wants to do anything, when you come up, you're off to the right. You're out of the way of traffic, so traffic can come up and traffic can come out. You can stand off to the side, because as we know, when you enter the dump, you have to go by the shack first before you make your turns. So they can stand off basically to the right, but in front of the swap shop area.
Near the swap shop, that's what.
And then if they're done, they can drive their car, come around, and they're out of the way of people coming in and going out of that dump. That's how I see it. I haven't been down there in a little while. But that, by what I remember, that is
Yeah, so
probably.
you're not
the safe-
obstructing the traffic.
You're not-
And
you're not-
you need a permit to do that on a regular basis
Correct.
anyway, so.
Keep the traffic
Yeah.
flow moving, and you can, people are still visual, so when I'm driving up and I see, oh, Judy's over in the corner, I'm gonna go over and see her. Throw my garbage out and I'll drive
And
over
there's
out.
signage that draws people into you over there, that's
Just
fine,
get
but
the sign.
I just have a problem with having like a timeline of that they have to warn us in advance to do something that they
So you're thinking,
constitutionally should be able to.
my concern, I think it does sound safer, just to get people over there. I don't know how, maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't, but.
If people want to see you, if people want to be a part of that, they'll find their way over there.
Yeah.
I think with the way situations are today, and I'll leave it at that, people standing in front of that shack should be no more. Or standing over by the dumpsters. Those are two areas that are not good with moving traffic and especially the vehicles. And like the selectman said, I didn't look over my shoulder.
Right.
And I run over somebody.
I don't know. how-
We've been so fortunate up there, I can't say it enough, but times are changing.
Yeah, I don't know how many accidents they've had there, but it's like cars moving back and forth all the time.
So we've never gone up into the dump for an auto accident. We've had fatalities down at the intersection of the dump.
Yeah, the ones up top, they're only moving at 5 miles an hour, so
Right.
it's kind of,
Yes.
get out.
It is weird, you're backing up, people are backing in and it's just, and people.
But then when they leave there, when they throw their trash out,
Yep,
then they have to back out,
manipulate their
and they
way
have
out.
to go
Yep,
opposite of people coming over, they have to go around that opposite to get to the swap shop area.
yep.
Yeah, in front of the dumpster, I wasn't thinking the grassy area is bad, but you're right, people are coming in and coming out and seeing them. Around the dumpster is not a good place to be.
No, there's really not enough room up there with, and we have it set up really good and it works for us.
It
But
does.
the parking or the driving area is not much to turn around and get in and get out. But I think for safety, off to the right is your safest spot. You're out of the way of traffic. In and out.
Okay.
Thank you.
So is that what people do now when they go to the swap shop? They have to go against
They
traffic?
have to reverse back.
Yeah,
Or they go there
Or you go there
first.
first,
and
yeah,
then go
that
over.
makes more sense.
Or you're up to
Logic
Lindsay
would
Waste
you-
and you're back down to the swamp.
The swap
Go
shop.
counterclockwise.
It's like 4 or 5 stops you can make up there.
Throw the kids up the back. It's
So-
Yeah.
But is there a way you could do like make that into like a roundabout as you go around the shed there and come back and go into the,
Oh,
so it's
no.
one way.
It is,
Enough to make a left.
Really, it's not a great layout.
No, it's pretty risky.
It's not a great layout.
Maybe we can push everything back. Like move.
That's
And we have more people going to the dump now than we used to too, when it was created, but,
We must have the land, it's just not.
It's all garbage. You can drive over that whole thing. It's all garbage. So where the dumpster is when we used to burn the brush, it's all garbage up there. We used to dump garbage up there.
They're gonna put a solar on.
Right, perfect spot for it.
Excuse me, can you hear me?
that makes sense. Well,
Excuse me?
Noreen.
I can't hear you.
You're muted, Noreen.
You're still muted.
Who said?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi,
No, see.
this is can you hear me, gentlemen and ladies?
Yes.
Yeah,
This is Noreen Newfer Farrington speaking to you. Thank you for, I'd just like to make a couple comments, please. In regards to Mr. Everett, when you stated that you didn't get a phone call from me till 20 of 12, I'd like to correct that, please, for the record. I called the town hall at 8:30 the day after I picked up the petitions, and as a courtesy call, thought I'd call. And they said, oh, don't worry about it. We're having a meeting at 10:30 in the morning. I called back. They had not heard anything from you. And then I got a phone call from the town at 20 of 12 stating that you had said, no, I could not collect signatures.
Okay.
The alternative, wait a minute. That just,
Well,
So we
Noreen, I
followed-
have to ask you a question. You just said you called me at 8 something.
no, I called the town hall about 8:30 in the morning and
Okay,
spoke to the town clerk.
yeah,
And the town clerk said you were not in the building.
okay,
That there was a meeting at 10:30 to discuss the what I was requesting.
yeah,
And then I called back, didn't hear anything back. And then I got a phone call at 20 of 12 stating your decision. It was your decision calling me back. I asked if you would please if they could please call you so we could speak directly, and I never heard from you till I saw you on Saturday morning. Now, I just want you to understand, we followed your directions exactly.
yes, yes,
And I don't believe where I was stationed was a safety concern. I was pulled back pretty far and standing there. You overheard what I was speaking to people. I was not
yeah,
engaging about the budget. We were just
right,
there to give everyone an opportunity to have a referendum. And I only received positive feedback from the people. Now,
wonderful.
I understand one thing. This, you want to have a 2-week wait period before we can, before anyone in the future can have a petition or have a political table or sell Girl Scout cookies. Well, I understand those type of things, but when you're on a time frame for a referendum, you can't wait 2 weeks to go to a public space where the most of the town congregates 2 days a week. You cannot do that. I mean, you don't have the time frame. So asking us to wait 2 weeks would have put me out. Let's see, I would still be waiting to go to the public space because it would have been not 2 weeks. And I happen to have collected, well, not myself alone, a team of us women. We collected well over 450 signatures in just a few days. So I don't think that having us wait, or anyone in the town wait 2 weeks, is a fair statement
Okay,
to make.
all right, thank you. I'm just throwing things out here. Okay, so I appreciate your comments. The only one thing I will correct you, and I don't know, my cell phone is on the website, and if you ask them for have me call you, I did not get that word, or I would have called you. So,
Well, I believe that, and I was told that your phone number on the website was just for your office number and that you were out of the office, so there was no reason to try calling it. And that I got from the town clerk. Obviously, it was incorrect information that was given innocently. It was not anything else but an innocent mistake. But that is why I did
Okay.
not call it, because why would I just ring to your office? And
No, I understand, that makes sense, I understand, I wasn't there, so, okay. I'm just hashing this stuff out, Noreen.
yeah,
I'm just throwing out things.
when you came over to verify that I hadn't obtained any signatures, and I was like rather surprised because you asked, I got the word you did not want me to do that, and I respected that. But
Actually, I think you started the conversation, but that's okay, and I'm glad you did respect that.
I think that there was more risk for an accident for people going down, leaving the transfer station, taking a right, and then pulling into the Department of Public Works
Yeah.
station, going back out on the road. The gentleman that suggested that we pull off to the right. That's a very good idea. I thought that was a good idea that he suggested tonight.
Okay,
So, but I don't think waiting 2 weeks is, I just don't think that that's gonna give some people enough time to collect, especially on a petition for a referendum, when you only have a certain amount of days.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for letting me speak. Have a nice night, folks.
Thank you.
So think about it. I mean, you're gonna let somebody down, she wants somebody to go down there this Saturday.
Yeah, so should I,
What are we doing?
Constitutionally, they should have access to it.
so they can, to go to the swap area?
What's been going on
Yeah,
in the past, things have been just winging it down there? I mean, I don't.
So where, I mean, she's waiting for some direction on where to go.
If you're not engaging with the public, is it okay to stand in the grassy area while you drive in? Or does that encourage
Well,
stopping?
people stop, they do stuff, I mean, I've done it, I've done that for years, and people do, usually it's when they go out, but then people stop when they come in, but usually when they go out. And then you have to get around the car, and then, so it could be a traffic issue, I can see that. I'm telling people to be careful as they're pulling out, I did that a couple times. But
It is messy.
the whole thing, so I guess, so what should I tell her to go to the swap area, or the grassy area, or is it, what do you think?
I would say, if you're off to the right, when you drive up, I think that's where they dump the refrigerators
Right,
and
yeah,
freezers.
So you're
There.
the swap area.
Right in that area, it's wide open pavement. And the only time you have to worry about someone is someone's dropping off a refrigerator or something big.
Okay.
But that's that would be a car coming this way towards you, because you still have to, when you drive up, you can't just bear right and go drop off, you have to report. I'm dropping this off, okay, collect the money, and then go off, and the people would have to be understanding of moving out of the way, let them drop it off. But I think that is your biggest area, because it's coned, cause they have a little driveway.
Yeah.
And it's a safe area to stand, and you could stand right up by the cones too, if, just back a little bit, if you were down there for political reasons or whatever. And then they can figure out how to get across after. But I think you've put people driving in cars, that's fine. If I hit Ann, I'm in my car. It's not, I hit her walking across, they have to figure that out, so Ann's in a safe spot. I have to figure out how to get, when I'm done with all my things up there, over to see Ann. Thanks.
So to ask her to go to the near the swap area and put a table.
Yes.
There, over the, maybe where the, there's a, to put books and stuff, I mean, there's an area there.
Anywhere in that area.
Yeah.
I think it's a
that
safe area for you, you got cones that,
Okay,
I'm thinking maybe we should, at some point, we should actually have some sort of destination for a place that
Yeah.
people go, and then people will learn, this is where you go.
once it becomes the habit is to go, it used to be the habit to go to the grassy area, then it was the habit to go in front of the dumpster. And the dumpster I thought was much worse for safety than the grassy area, but they're both some issues. So I'll tell her she can go over there, and they can set up there. There'll be two people.
And it would be okay to put some sort of sign saying Lions raffle tickets
Mhm.
over there, or
Everything.
politicians over
that can go
there.
across you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like little information areas, whatever it is.
Grassy areas are coming in.
Yeah, we're selling because it's like-
signage, yeah, as long as you're not blocking view
Yeah,
for people.
because that's not going to interfere people.
And then in your political stuff, you could have Republican people, Democrat people sitting there, and that's.
So they
they'd be sitting right next to each other.
they share stuff.
They do anyway, I mean, they're right next to each other when they're by the.
Yeah, that's
too,
what-
Yeah, I wanted to
Actually,
have some
good thing.
saying, you know,
Most of the time.
Lion raffle tickets,
It's never the
and
people.
have an arrow go, want to have a sign there that says that as they go up in the grassy area, they can look at it and go, not only am I here to drop. Oh, look, the Lions are having.
Right.
And they're all right by the, they're safe areas, so I'm gonna take.
You know,
Yeah.
candidate, you know, candidate meeting area over there, or.
Yeah.
You know,
Because, I mean, we're gonna
petition.
we're
over there.
having the convention, so there's gonna be a primary, there'll be a primary, so this is starting of this election season right now. Even though it's gonna go on until November. Yeah.
So we're all in agreement, asking them to go over near
Sounds like that's the safest place.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's because disrupting the flow of traffic becomes an actual liability concern for the town, so I'm okay with giving a specific area that's safest.
Oh, so you're gonna have people that are gonna park their car at the garbage place, walk across, going over 3 flows of traffic to talk to their friends.
Right.
Well, if it's on a Saturday or Wednesday, that's a busy area. So now you have a car parked for 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long people
You
wanna
have people
talk.
doing that when we're set up by the dumpsters too, though, you have people parking over by the swap shed and then walking across too, so.
But oh, by the way, I was there with the Lions selling tickets and we were actually helping people dump their trash. We sold more tickets that way than any other time at the dump. And we helped get the flow of the people in and out a hell of a lot faster. I think there should be some give and take. You wanna bring your political ideas here or sign a petition? Get 4 people to help people dump their trash.
Can't require that.
No, but you can ask them.
we can talk to the Lions too, because this is gonna affect the Lions to see, what their thoughts
Yeah,
are.
we should.
I think we should, before we make a decision, we could do this for Saturday, but then I think we should do it soon, because the election season has started much earlier than usual. So yes, we should talk.
It's not that big.
Very nice.
Can I say something? I agree, you can't, kind of stop people from going there, but can the town, I would think that the town should be allowed to say, for safety, liability reasons, this is where it is
Yeah.
going to take.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
Yeah, well, because when you start disrupting the flow of traffic, that's when you start getting into permit needs, right? So, because that is a flow of traffic going in and out of there. So I think the town does have the right to say, liability wise and safety wise, it has to be in a specific area, and obviously you want to go off the recommendations of the people who would be responding to it if something goes wrong.
Right.
But I just don't want to restrict access to a publicly funded location.
And if I do something up there, I don't want to empty people's trash.
Yeah, I mean, you can never mandate that, that's not, yeah, obviously a great thing to do.
If somebody wants to use.
So you don't get free speech or the right to petition unless you empty somebody's trash.
You also don't have the right,
Yeah, that's.
you also don't have the right to interfere with public operations.
Yeah, and off to the side you wouldn't.
Off to
Yeah.
the side, you're with it.
You said,
People do, well, they always help with trash, and that kind of, I don't know, you get talking, that happens all the time too. I mean, it's all this, it's
Well, I
what you
think we
do.
need to talk about it.
Say what?
I think we need to kind of think about it, like, we're all kind of our minds
I know.
visualize what's out there.
We're down there and standing there outside the shed, the welcome shed,
Yeah,
watch the flow of traffic. Just for a half hour.
yeah, I know.
That's
A half hour, they come in, they go left, they go around, they go out, they go this way. Really? Yeah, and then walk down to Route 6 and watch that traffic down there, but stand back. Because you'll be somebody's, hood ornament. It's whatever,
Yeah.
let them all come,
Anyways, I think we gotta think about it and not make a decision, but I'll tell her this weekend. This gentleman who's running for probate wants to get to know people, or wants to run, there's 2 of them, 2 Democrats. One and probably will find it. That's what I'm saying, we're gonna get people down there quickly, I think, the next probably month. We're gonna have people there more often,
okay, let's move on.
but anyways.
So we're bringing up again, I would ask people to go down there. I mean, apparently I'm down there all the time with that one.
Yeah, we can go.
We sat out there for,
Yeah.
Alright.
yeah,
Involved in it, involved in dodging cars.
Nothing with the late appointments. I move to appoint Tony Baria to the Board of Assessment Appeals. Somebody talked to Tony's,
Who's Tony?
I don't know, who put her up?
The Republican town council.
You know anything about it?
Yes, she has a application here,
Right in here.
it's right after the Republican. Recommendation,
She's lived in Columbia.
she retires in USPS after 34 years, was a postmaster in Columbia for 13 years.
Oh, anyway.
I don't know.
No, sounds
Very active in the around town, so.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Good to know people.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move to approve the Marine Patrol Officer appointment of Brian J. All, Colby Marsh, Jeffrey Morrison, Jody Gross, Lamont West, Nathan Barton, Ronald Smith, Spencer Laddie Locks, and Thomas Griffin Jr. Now, Brian All, Jeff Morrison, Jody Gross, Lamont West, Thomas Griffin are returning, and Ron Smith are returning.
Oh, wow.
So that Colby Marsh is a third-year college student. He's an actual state trooper intern, responsible. His father's Joe Marsh, a retired state trooper. So we don't know about them, but okay. Spencer Laddie Locks is of English descent. No, I don't know. Just being humorous. So, we have his.
Yes.
Oh.
You don't believe her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them have been volunteer firefighters, all of them.
Yeah. Masters of Science in
So
adult,
Jake has approved you.
yes.
And Brian All.
Yeah, and Nathan and Brian, and Nathan Botting, very outgoing and friendly. There's yeah.
Say that. I didn't put.
And he's more mature than the 16-year-old we used to have out there. He's a volunteer for East Haddam firefighter and an EMT, so. Any more discussion needed? They look good? They look good. And we have to go through and, or is everybody okay with a lot of them?
A lot of them.
I'm assuming people who've been there before are back because they did a good job.
And they're interviewed by, and Jake has met him.
Yeah.
August, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Town administrator report.
I was at a strategic planning session for Prague, which is our council of governments. They act really as our regional source for revenue from the federal government and state government. And do a lot with transportation. That's how we've gotten some of our grants that we've achieved. But I thought it'd be interesting, I won't go over it now, the playbook. Where they're laying out all the key areas that they help the town plumb. And government, communication, regional housing, environmental services, economic vitality, federal funding, road safety. They have a whole division that does GIS mapping and helps monitor road safety with the T2 centers. But they also then, the reason for the meeting was to really champion ideas to help towns in other areas that maybe they're not doing right now. They were all brainstormed on that. And I'll follow up with what becomes of this, so this is step one. And mainly, one area I said we need help with is permitting. There's a lot of the state agencies, we've had trouble with FEEP and Army Corps of Engineers getting permitting and delaying major projects. There's not enough people working anymore, and the bureaucracy is
So
a bit
it's down
stagnant.
at the staff.
So
Wow.
I won't go into that anymore, other than I'm happy to answer more questions anytime on problem. Also, I wanted you to see that the state just released some extra funding, you probably saw it on the news. The grant we're getting an actual additional 92,648 for the education budget and 22,616 for the town budget. So a total of $115,464. And one question is that the grant will not impact MBR, so the extra money can't throw you into an MBR minimum budget requirement of the Board of Ed violation. And also, the grant could be used to offset the increase provided to the Board of Ed if it results in a decreased mill rate. So you could take the money, the Board of Ed will get the money, but you could take it away to offset the mill rate too. The net effect would still be the same Board of Ed budget, but you could use the reduced mill rate.
Yeah, I thought that's what the whole purpose of it was. At least when I
There's a
heard
lot of
politically, when you listen to the news, they were trying to lower mill rates. But I don't know what the law says.
And so just make you aware of that. And then not in your packets, but I spent today with the Department of Public Health, the East Ham Health Department's board director and DEEP and some other agencies talking about PSAP, which we have in our school, which is why we have a tanker out there. We were talking about what's required to put in. They have to approve our engineered filtration system that we're working on right now with to filter the water from the well before it gets into the school. We went over financial opportunities for funding and grants, and all those will take many, many, many months. We don't have many months because we have to have a system ready to go when the kids come back in September. Which means right now that tanker's costing us $1,500 a week. So we don't,
So if we pay for a system and put it in, can we apply for
so we already found some source of grant money. The school got, I think they got 49,000 from a $49,652 from what's called a DRIP grant, which is for district repair improvement projects at the school.
Okay, but that grant money was given to us before.
Right.
We knew of this, so that's not grant money that was designated specifically for the PFAS in the water.
Correct.
We're using it for that.
Right, we'll have to get approval that that's an authorized use for that money.
Okay.
So working on that.
So my question is, if we put in a charcoal system and it costs us, let's say $100,000. And we apply for a grant to reimburse us.
I asked that
And
today, and they said that it would be a very onerous project to try to achieve that, and you would probably not hit you would miss your marks of when you would have to actually hire someone, because the process takes months. It's the process described to me today was so painful and long that they're actually receiving grants, applications. They started receiving them in March for next year. And we're not done, because I'm gonna be talking to the Eastern Health District. And we have to have another whole grant discussion, because we're not done with the town infrastructure here. Because right now we have a problem with the fire station, the old fire station, town hall, library. So we're going to be needing to put in more filtration systems. Those buildings don't have the urgency that the school does, because we're not cooking for everybody. We can use bottled water here in a cooler and just shut down the drinking fountain, same with the fire station. But the school has to have a solution within weeks.
Right.
That we start, go out to bid, find a vendor, we have to go pump house out on the lawn. There's a lot going on. So I have another meeting tomorrow to pursue all this again with these districts.
I'll say, just for clarification on cost, you have 12-month employees over there. Are they going to have that tanker there? Do they have to have it for the employees that are there too all summer?
That tanker can't leave if there's water going into the school.
That's what I'm asking. So I just didn't know if that was like can you displace the 12-month
We won't
employees
be
to somewhere else?
filling it as much, so the costs will go down, so that's the cost.
the 12-month employees is probably A dozen?
Yeah, and then they have curriculum work that they do over the summer, so there are like. There's 12-month employees and then there's also some like per diem stuff that happens,
So we
that's why I was just wondering if
monitor-
that was a
We
place.
monitor the tank and West Phillips as needed.
I just didn't know if that was like could we displace them from the school over the summer and save that cost for the.
So right now it's $500 to fill up and we're filling it.
Yeah, could we,
Give them
move
space
somewhere else.
here, give them
Right.
space in another town, that's, I was just curious, I mean, I get that it's harder. Teacher hat on, it's a lot harder to not be in your location, but I'm just wondering if that's a cost.
And then the cleaning people, they're the maintenance people, they gotta be there, and the HVAC people.
Yeah, all the projects, that's true, there's gonna be people that have to be in the building for what they're doing, yeah, that's fair.
Let me just update you one other thing. So I'm also, my meeting tomorrow will be reviewing private well programs from the state to address any houses they feel might be in the zone that needs to be tested around our area here. So I think that water can be handled by the state at no cost to the residents. And there might even be some filtration system the state can help with. So this is all just hitting right now. I'm gathering data daily. And the caveat is that nonprofits and municipalities can't qualify for this clean water. I'm the only residents affected by PFAS. But I don't know why they would say like the church and the municipalities can't.
What about businesses on the corner?
That would be resident. I think that would, they would help with that. So all this I'll find out tomorrow at the meeting, and then I'll also find out how we're gonna map out this whole area and how we're gonna contact everybody with what your options are and how to do testing.
So is it just this area here that this has happened, or can we assume that?
This
all-
area that's tested.
It's,
Or is the whole town of Columbia have this situation?
we don't know. So PFAS has been around for a long time, and unfortunately, it comes from Teflon. Inside of popcorn, microwave popcorn bags, it comes from
Everything.
every non-fire retardant application put on clothing and materials. But once it leaves and goes on the ground, it never breaks down. And it won't attach to water and go somewhere, it just rides on the surface of water. So it spreads quickly and fans out quickly. And it's microscopic. The amount they're finding is like one drop in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So it's a teeny bit, but it is not good for our bodies. PFAS.
If you drink water bottles.
It probably,
The plastic water bottles.
right,
My water tastes great.
Can be disappointed when it's filtered and.
My ears are clean.
so that's all I have. to
Do you want to say something about the reminder for the informational meeting, because that's on your report?
Oh,
Reminder for the informational meeting.
the traffic community. So Thursday at 7 o'clock, there's a traffic and safety committee meeting, informational meeting for the town in the owners hall. With some of the recommendations from the traffic safety committee will be discussed. And specifically one solution, possibility of speed cameras. And there's some subject matter experts coming in from the T2 Center at UConn and the traffic unit of the state police. And we're also looking for data right now. I'm getting data from different areas of the state that have already had traffic cameras to see their revenues.
Are we allowing residents to ask questions or people to share out information that they've,
Well,
Oh,
let's see.
yeah. I mean, talk to Justin about this too, but.
Like two people from residences from Marlboro
They're
want to speak.
business owners in Marlboro that wanna speak to the impact of the traffic cameras.
That our traffics would impact them.
No, they have traffic cameras going there, so it's someone who's experienced the traffic cameras. I mean, it's not an official town meeting, so that's why I'm just asking, like, we have other people coming in from outside of town, so are we allowing people, anyone who attends the meeting to share out experience on those things? It's an informational meeting, it's not a vote meeting.
Okay, now, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, right?
I'm not sure I understand.
To allow people from another town, how it affects them. Where their camera, the camera must be as near their business or in front of their business. And it's
I think it's
affecting their
important
business.
just to know what's happening in the towns that have implemented it. So beyond, I mean, we have experts coming in from Yukon or, the various traffic experts. I think it's important to hear the towns that have implemented it, what's actually happening in those towns.
Yeah, what kind of data? do you have? That's just their own personal.
I mean, I'm not them, so I'm sure they're coming with data, but
But you're fighting for them to be able to talk.
I'm not fighting for anybody. I'm just asking you if we're allowing people to come in and share if they have an experience with that.
So, do you like other than, now the professionals coming in are, yeah, we're inviting them, and that's for, to get some knowledge. Is it other than town residents that can attend? I guess that would be.
That's really what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what are we looking for? Are we looking for the bigger picture of how it's impacted the other towns? That's why I'm obviously in support of that. I'm not fighting for them because I don't have their data in front of me, but,
They're talking about their experience.
Yeah.
But do we allow other than town residents to speak at the, public hearing?
it's not a public hearing. It's an informational meeting. There's no vote.
The problem, and I'll be honest with you, your husband wrote this to me, and I
Yeah,
thought
that's why I'm
about it,
asking.
and I thought about it, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what can the business owner say? The cameras in front of me have deterred traffic different routes, so I'm not getting the same business. Well, it really doesn't, I don't know where the cameras are going in Columbia, but I can tell you, there's not a lot of business where those traffic cameras would
No,
be.
but I think it's important to hear the perspective of towns that have put it in place, because that's been the whole discussion all along too, so.
And yeah, the towns, but not individuals whose business they believe is affected by that. Because our cameras, anywhere we place them, would not be in front of people's businesses. It would be on their road is a cutoff, the exit before their main exit.
I'm not looking to debate, I'm not looking to debate that, I'm just asking, can they speak?
But I know there's people out there ready to say, why wouldn't we listen to people like that? I don't know, Rachel, to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm a little gun shy these days on making a decision. So all those in favor of allowing anybody else who wants to speak, no matter where they live or how it, is that what we're doing?
Are we kind of opening up a pretty, I mean, I don't know.
We
I
have
can't
outside,
understand why someone in Marlboro would care, but the other thing is, are we gonna have officials like people who actually live in the town, not like somebody in the town of Marlboro who's deals with this whole thing, like the town something?
I'm not,
Where's Mark?
yeah.
He went to the bathroom.
I don't know what somebody put something in on the chat, of course, saying for or against, so.
I don't know that it's even something, I'm unclear on when it's an informational meeting and not a town meeting. Like not a vote or a hearing. And we have outside people coming in to give data. How do we determine who's allowed to give that data? That's what I'm asking.
My problem would be that,
Because they
It's one
were
person.
appointed by the state of Connecticut to get that data?
No,
No?
well, you're,
No, he's giving me like the reason the other people are able to speak.
uh,
I mean, we've had people speaking in these meetings that aren't experts on traffic, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
If I do it, I'm damn.
No, that's why I'm asking, so that way there's not an issue when that meeting
There's
comes.
always saying something that should be.
Barry Wrinkle says, will other out-of-town folks be town officials who have data, good or bad, or just providing folks with subjective stories, how they are impacted?
I'm not the person who invited them.
That's my point.
Yeah,
as opposed to.
I don't know.
Non-biased.
I don't know if it's data sets, I don't know, again, you would think we talk about this more, but we don't. So,
No, only because it's just gonna be their personal opinions as opposed to say maybe.
So are we allowing citizens in the town to speak up
Mhm.
with subjective,
Yeah.
and then at that point, okay,
And then we'll
I
have
mean,
ex,
you got a point, that's just.
but you'll have experts, the point of the meeting is you're gonna have experts sitting up there that know. I don't know, I'm assuming, like, you listen, people that sound like they know what they're talking about, and people in the audience can say, well, I worry about this, and I think this is gonna happen, then you'll have an expert that can say, well, the data says this, or yes, it's a really good point, you know, that kind of, that's how I see it. So I don't know if we want someone that comes from Hartford or Marlboro or Wisconsin, come in here and say, well, you know, this is what I mean,
Yeah.
unless they have some broader background in that town, like, you know, they're the traffic control manager of the town of Marlboro.
I'm not sure the specific titles of,
You just-
I'm just, because one of the conversations that had come up in our meeting over and over was ask other towns how it's going, and so I'm not sure the titles of anyone, I just know that people are looking to invite folks from outside
Well, like I
that
said,
have had experience.
So like I said, the guy maybe there's a guy in Marlboro sits there and is the guy that does who gets the fine, who doesn't get the fine. Might be nice to hear from that person in a
And
town.
I do think they have data on what it's cost.
But I don't know, if
So,
just having someone who's, I don't know. I think the person has to have some sort of a title that makes sense.
That would be what I would think.
Yeah, and plus then you're cutting off, in another sense, you're cutting off our people who are gonna come there and they want to ask questions about how it's gonna impact it here. And that's kind of the purpose of it, the people of Columbia can come there and ask their questions so they can find out whether they like this idea or not.
Right.
And I don't know, a person who just had his own particular subjective experience, good or bad.
Yes, Sandy.
And look, 103 Lake Road. It is my understanding that this is an informational meeting.
Right.
And that we have invited experts in to provide information for the townspeople. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, well, usually in an informational meeting, the experts speak and the people listen, and then they are allowed to ask questions of the experts. And I don't know where opinions from out of town have a place there.
I don't know, that's what I'm saying, I'm not sure that it's opinions from out of town, or it's data sets from out of town. I'm just asking because it was something that had come up and you hadn't. I don't know if you had replied to her.
But I'm concerned that if there are experts, then we didn't invite them.
Right.
If they're just,
can you? What experts and what is their job, title, whatever, who's coming tomorrow or Thursday, please?
So the T2 Center, which is I don't have this brochure, T2 Center works for the state with traffic analysis and traffic data, and they monitor everything to do with traffic and safety features to improve safety in pedestrians, cars, bikes, you name it. They provide tracking on our roads to tell us how fast cars are going, and we've used them to give us data.
Okay.
So one of their experts is coming to tell about their association with speed energy. The other is our resident trooper asked one of their troopers that's in the traffic unit, that this unit is all about safety of cars. And he's coming to give his impression of how to improve safety. And I don't think it's just speed cameras. I think they're gonna talk about safety in general, which is this isn't just all about cameras. This is about what can we do
Right.
to reduce traffic fatalities and pedestrian fatalities.
Good idea.
And then, I have requested data from the towns, I'm still trying to get a hold of what they've seen in revenue and volumes of their speed cameras. Middletown, the Marlboro.
So they would have a month by month or longevity result to say yes or no, it has reduced or it has not reduced, whatever.
Correct, that's what I'm.
And then the citizens, not just the cameras, because I wanna know about speed bumps and humps and jumps and mumble strips and everything else. Because the speed cameras are one, I honestly, I don't think anything is gonna stop the speed going on. Nothing is gonna stop the speeding going on, cause if the cameras are on the big roads, they're gonna speed through the little roads. And, you know, the surprising thing, what people don't understand, I talked to the state trooper, 40% of the tickets he writes is your neighbor. Is you, if you get a ticket. He writes them people who live in Columbia. And they're like, oh, I never met you before. He goes, you never met me now, did you? You know, it is a little comical. We complain about things and we're the culprits in a lot of different things. So, I don't think. So we'll listen and we'll come away with answers and we'll come away with answers and go, nothing we can do, or there's something we can do. And then we'll decide, okay? I don't know if somebody who is affected by the speed camera on a small road, that road is 25 miles an hour. Off of in Marlboro, it's down on the other side of Lake Pocatello, and it is an access, it's. Get off there and go back road to get up into the center.
Part of the discussion was the revenue stuff, so if you're coming with that data, then that's,
Yeah.
the cost versus revenue piece.
Yeah, when your husband said that, I'm a little gun shy these days and go, and we don't have any businesses on 87 and 66.
Yeah. We have one we have a few at the intersection.
Yeah, but the cameras are not going there.
But if, I think that the conversation, I mean, I don't wanna debate the cameras, because we wanna wait for the informational meeting, but I think the conversation is about the avoidance of avoidance too.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
general.
Well, I mean. So I'm a little.
Say no.
On people from Marlboro whose business is affected by it.
Yeah.
Well, let's wait, I would say no, but, you know, honestly, maybe somebody will ask a question. How does it affect, you know, businesses, if we put something down on 66 East, how does that affect? The plaza, the, you know, package store, the garage,
We moose all that stuff all the way down.
yeah, maybe somebody will be concerned about that. But. Sorry, I told you, remind people. It's Thursday night, come with questions and an open mind. And I'll be honest with you, there's no real clear cut solution. If we stop speeding by 20% on 87 and 66. It's 20%, you know, believe me, I go out and collect my mail, I look both ways to make sure that I. Skip up off anywhere near my mailbox when people are passing, going by on Route 87. Going to the beach, yeah, you are. Have a good time. So, all right. No correspondence,
Just, I included the. Town of Portland, Connecticut State Police activity for April.
for April, wow, 130, let's see. Calls for service, where's narcotics, non-timely deaths, stress. 16 traffic stops. Officer initiated, 59. Okay. Budget, I move to approve refunds as presented totaling $131.07. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That goes. I move to approve the payment of bills as presented totaling $110,474. Consisting of 25-26 emergency, 25-26 regular, and car and pension. What do we do with Best Way Electric? Is that the, for the senior? Yes. With the sub panel? We didn't treat our own lawn and rec farm?
It's an organic, service that we subcontract.
Is it liquid or is it? I don't do it ourselves.
Ask about that. How do we do that? As I know,
What are boots for $5,000? Boots,
are you saying BOOTS?
boots for $5,000.
That is out of the fire department capital. That was left over and used. So that's why you're seeing that check probably.
MES Service Company? Okay,
Fire department boots.
thank you.
Welcome. You're probably gonna see one there for $5,000 for Knox box. New sensors that I need for all the trucks.
I mean, in the future.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Can't use the old one. It's probably not there yet. I'm just saying it's not.
It's not here, okay.
It's the capital that we talked about.
What did we buy at Harbor Freight? $469.
That's not me.
Socket set, impact socket, screwdrivers. Index pry, a chisel, punch and chisel set. We don't have that stuff?
Guess we do now.
And we bought it from Harbor Freight. You ever been bought Harbor Freight? Anybody got anything from Harbor
Not,
Freight?
not the last.
Not the best.
It's still in the town.
Probably replacing the last that we got from Harbor Freight. Okay. All those in favor of paying the bills? Opposed? Audience citizens. Yes, please.
I would like to commend town administrator for his diligence and deep involvement in crop. He's been a very active participant in that, and he stays on top of whatever is happening. And he brings all that back to the town, which is a huge benefit. And I'd like to thank him.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Louis, Two Lakes Lane, also the fire chief. I'd like to, this is for Steve Everett, the first selectman. You made mention plenty of times tonight, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Be the leader you are, be the leader that I like to follow, and I have your back. So you're not gonna make everyone happy. That's the tough part about being a leader. You have to make decisions and you have to make them, and I support you for them.
Thank you. Yes.
Sally Robinson, 26 Lake Road. Two things. There's a lot of information readily available about Marlboro and how their speed cameras have functioned. If there was an expert invited, such as the first selectman, then they could feel those conversations from all angles, not just representing one subset. That's a thought. And my other interest is I really like that we have memorial benches. I think that's lovely, and I think that it's very nice that you so readily, Jeff's, and I hope you would with anyone who's been a resident of the town, regardless of whether how they've served. I think that's lovely. I like that there's a protocol for it. I'm curious how we have memorials that people set up themselves and they stay in
or any state roads, they have like a statute on how long a memorial, a temporary memorial, and then the state's supposed to remove that.
You happen to know how long that is?
Not off the top of my head, but I know that is information that.
All right, because there's a town property, whether the highway that goes to state or not. This is the town of Columbia, but the ends shapes.
Well, you can 6 feet back off of it is not.
Okay, 6 feet on,
Something like
yes,
that. So,
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, which changes depending on the road. Yeah, but
Oh, I never.
state statute on how long it is.
just.
All set? Yes, sir.
John Pires, 324 Road 87. The additional disbursement from the state, is that going to affect the 26-27 budget? And if so, is that going to be updated for the budget meeting on May 12th?
No,
So it's just for this fiscal year?
no, it's for next fiscal year, but it would not
Unless
modify
the
the building.
referendum, if it
Fail.
if it fails, more people agree not to support the budget, then they could probably make that change, because it would go back to 5-pack, and 5-pack would send it back to the Board of Ed and the town.
So I guess my question is, do you consider this what we would say on the Hill, budget dust, or could this additional money actually change, make a like significant change for the town?
A mill
Quarter mil.
is it's a fifth of a mill.
Fifth of a mil.
1/5 of a mill. A mill is $583,000.
I know, I'm very good at that, but.
Yeah,
Question.
it's dust.
Okay. Second question is, regarding the traffic.
Heavy dust.
Regarding traffic and safety, I know you guys have the commission. Is it only for town roads or is it for state roads as well?
All the above.
Okay.
Town and state. More so for town. Because the cameras would, if we agreed to them, would be on the state roads. Now, would it be good to put one on Whitney Road? Sure it would. We would have to work with the company. But let's get through the meeting first.
Okay.
So. Anybody else? Nobody on there? Okay, board member comments? We're in, no? Excellent. We don't need an executive session?
No, sir.
At this time, I make a motion to adjourn at 8:42. No. 32. Man, that thing, I can't see.
Pick one.
8:32.
32. All those in favor?
It's